Things are being thrown. There's no room for this in the sport. There's no room for the Davis brothers to be in the building tonight. The police escorted them out. You saw.
Shit happen all the time. Should be happening.
Hey, Mark,
I'm all right.
wait,
No.
We got that fight coming up.
You gotta beat it, bro.
You got a fight coming up for sure.
What was meant to be a simple media event before the major boxing schedule suddenly turned into a viral showdown that took over the internet. Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul unexpectedly crossed paths in the middle of the Vegas Strip, and things quickly got heated when Jake Paul threw a clean punch right at Tank's face. Yes, that really happened. Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer, just made one of the boldest moves of his career by physically taking on one of the most feared fighters in boxing. The clash broke out inside a private media room at a high-end Las Vegas hotel, where both stars were booked for separate interviews.
I gotta ask you, how real or what was to it with you and Tank actually being a thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled.
The two had been trading words for weeks, and when they finally met in person, it took only seconds for things to erupt into chaos.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
According to sources, Tank walked in calm and composed, his focus unshaken. Jake, on the other hand, was loud and full of energy, and the tension between them was impossible to ignore. At that point, no security, no flashing cameras, and no pending contracts could stop what came next.
What's going on?
What's up, Floyd?
I can have what I want.
What's your name with the camera? Oh, he got camera too. So
what you supposed to?
In an instant, Jake lunged forward and threw a real punch, not a slap, not a shove, but a solid hit. The room erupted as chaos took over. Phones went flying, bodyguards rushed in, and within seconds, the entire place turned into a wild scene. Everyone's asking the same thing: how did it come to this? Why is a YouTuber going after one of boxing's most dangerous knockout artists? And why would Jake put everything on the line right now, when the stakes are already sky high?
Yeah, no, we're working on it behind the scenes to make that happen, and obviously that's a fight where the fans are going to win, and it's going to be the biggest event of the year.
What weight would you fight him at?
We're working on it, but it'd be an exhibition most likely.
The answer is simple: this isn't just about money. It's personal. It's about proving a point. Jake Paul is tired of being labeled the outsider, the sideshow, the one who doesn't belong. He's taken down former UFC champions and knocked out professional athletes. Yet critics still taunt him, saying, "Fight a real boxer."
How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown.
Yeah.
He's a clown.
Would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him. Like, you want me to fight him?
You think it'll ever come to the point where you're going to mix into, I mean, you're obviously doing the real shit, but will it ever mix into the point where the money's big enough
Yeah,
for
would you ever do a fight like that?
I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now.
And Gervonta Davis is exactly that, a real boxer, the benchmark for modern knockout power. He's a pound-for-pound powerhouse with unmatched speed, elite skill, and a highlight reel that gives fight fans chills every time they watch.
Tank Davis, bad dude. See, what I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. You know, back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer, George was a puncher, Ernest Shavers was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something. That division now is full, and Tank having to be the knockout guy of the division. He the one with the main knockout power. Garcia has it too, but Tank got that real knockout power that, like, if Tank hit one of them clean, usually they gonna have a problem. So it's like, I like Tank. Every now and then, I think when he knows he can beat somebody, he probably don't lock in as hard, but I think when they bring challenges, he locks in.
Yeah, he fights to the level of competition.
Yeah,
He was doing that a lot.
And he got to be careful of that.
2 fights ago, he was really doing that.
You feel me? So you got to be careful of that, because if you come in and think somebody is not at your level and you underestimate them, it can get you beat. So that's the only thing I think you got to be careful of. other than that, Tank is a really good.
So when Tank called out Jake after the Tyson incident and turned things personal, Jake didn't brush it off, he took it to heart. And that's what led us to this moment.
Who were you going to call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here. He came in my locker room.
Shakur Stevenson?
He wasn't in my locker room.
Jake Paul?
Next question.
Man, god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
But this punch was something else. It wasn't hype or a staged promo, it was real, raw, and dangerous. The kind of hit that could throw everything off track. What makes it worse is that this wasn't part of the plan. Both fighters had already signed on for a massive exhibition bout this November, the kind of high-stakes, money-driven event that Floyd Mayweather made famous.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah, I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back, and then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching it, he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? If he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
It was meant to be entertainment over competition, a major Netflix spectacle set to pull in millions. Jake versus Tank was designed to be a crossover moneymaker, not a genuine grudge match.
Jake Paul and Tank get into a heated altercation in the street. Things escalated quickly with Paul throwing hands. Who you got if they step in the ring?
But now, it's no longer just about money, it's personal. The stakes have completely changed. Gervonta Davis finds himself in a tough position, still facing backlash from his controversial draw with Lamont Roach. That rematch scheduled for August hangs over him like a dark cloud. In that fight, Tank didn't just seem off his game, he looked unfocused, careless, and surprisingly vulnerable.
Lamont, it was like he was there, but he wasn't there for. When you watch all his other fights, you can see his eyes just look different. When he walked into the ring with Lamont, it was just yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because you heard in the press conferences, he was just saying he was just real irritated. He didn't really seem like
he just felt like I think he just trained just to get by. I think he trained to just do 12 rounds. You know what I mean? The Tank that I know, the kid that you punch him in the face, he go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if I'm down on the scorecards, I'm gonna go out and go get it. I didn't see it that fight, and I understand it too. When us as fighters, when you get to a certain point in life, sometimes you just don't want to do it.
And Roach came ready for war. His 9th round knockdown, which the ref waved off, set the boxing world ablaze. Critics claimed Tank was exposed, Roach insisted he was robbed, and fans argued that Tank had lost his edge.
Right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leading with right. He took a knee. He took a knee. What is he doing? He forgot his... gotta be a knockdown. What in the world is happening?
Took a knee. He's got to count. Listen to me. I understand. You take a knee like that, that looks like a knockdown. All right? Back up. Back up.
Now Tank finds himself fighting 2 battles, one against Roach, who's hungry for payback, and another against Jake Paul, who's determined to reshape his reputation. Tank's trying to handle it all, but the problem is he's giving Jake too much attention. Jake Paul isn't Lamont Roach, he's not a ranked contender or a title threat. He's chasing headlines and chaos. Still, the danger is real, because Jake isn't the inexperienced rookie he used to be.
Is this Logan Paul? Is he a legitimate boxer?
A legitimate boxer, yes. People mocked me when I was saying that before, but now I think people are coming around. I say, if this kid was not a YouTuber, if he wasn't some guy that you knew from the time he was like 16 years old on YouTube, and you just saw him box, and you saw him knock out former UFC champions, you saw him beat legitimate boxers, you'd go, this kid can fucking fight.
Jake's a heavyweight, hovering around 200 pounds, young, hungry, and fully capable of ending a fight with a single punch. Just ask Tyron Woodley. Meanwhile, Tank fights at 135, maybe 140 on a good day. The size difference isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous and flat-out reckless. Jake Paul could seriously hurt him, and deep down, Tank knows it.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you were saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
A loss to Jake Paul would make the Roach controversy look minor by comparison. Tank's reputation would take a serious hit, and for someone already dealing with criticism, legal issues, and public pressure, it could be devastating. That's why this Vegas punch is more dangerous than it seems, because now, Jake has the momentum, the headlines, and the spotlight. People are talking about Jake's punch, not Tank's power. And watching it all with a smirk is Floyd Mayweather, who's been quietly feuding with Tank for months. The once close mentor and protege have now become bitter rivals.
Set you off that you was like, I gotta do that. A lot of people don't know that what Floyd do. He said.
So you feel like it was a sub, like he was subbing you, like, oh, like
he was going at me. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went at him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause I feel like y'all got, I would say love and hate, but it's been like the last interview you showed them love. This week it was whatever. But is that sometimes like, you know, is it just like big bro, little bro seeing things different, or what is it to you?
No, Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where as though I passed him. And I'm doing it at a young age. Wait, like when Floyd was 29, you'll see, bro.
Yeah.
That deal that I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's a part of the
deal. He don't know about that yet. But that's bigger than his deal.
Damn. Wow.
And I'm just releasing it.
Exclusive. That's exclusive. Bigger than Floyd deal?
Yeah.
Tank no cap, nigga. That's a lot of bread.
You'll see. It's gonna come out.
It's the ultimate chess move. Floyd's no longer leading Tank to victory. He's helping shape the opponent who could destroy him. And with all the chaos surrounding Jake Paul, Floyd's likely thinking what many boxing purists are asking.
Didn't say you got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Tank Davis is one of the most gifted fighters of his generation, but his recent choices show signs of burnout. He's hinted at retirement, gotten caught up in online drama, let his discipline slip, split from his longtime trainer, and now he's chasing a fight with Jake Paul instead of facing elite contenders like Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney.
This Lamont Roach. I think we need to start with that one.
Yeah.
What transpired in that fight was astounding, because you have to remember Tank Davis was a 16-1 favorite going into this fight. Lamont Roach while a WBA champion was moving up from 130 pounds and no one thought he had a chance. And the general demeanor of Tank Davis going into this fight was like, hey man, I'm kind of done with this. I got 3 fights left. I'm going to be done by the end of 2025. I don't really like this sport anymore. Kids, don't do this. Go into soccer.
Meanwhile, Jake is playing the game smart. He's crafting storylines, stirring reactions, and now he's got people genuinely wondering if he can beat Tank. That's the scary part, because once that idea takes hold, once fans start asking, what if Jake actually wins? The fight stops being a show and becomes a real danger.
Was looking past Roach, and he wanted that Jake Paul fight, which I think Jake Paul would have beaten. Jake is way too big. Tank is 5'5", 135, soaking wet. Y'all think Tank is too small for 140. He ain't beating no heavyweight. I'm not joking. I don't think he would have hurt Jake. He would have to jump up to reach, but I don't think he would have hurt him. I tell you this, it would have gone the distance, and people would have been laughing their asses off, and it wouldn't have been good for Tank's brand. I tell you that. That fight would have went the distance. Soon as 5'5" Tank is looking at a 6'2", 6'3" Jake Paul, y'all would have been like, hold, wait a second. And Jake Paul be on spread out pause with that arm out and stepping back. And bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. But that's a cat. Fine. We'll never get to fight anyway. So we'll never know.
And the worst part is Jake knows it. He knows Tank is distracted. He knows the weight difference gives him an edge. And now he knows exactly how to get under Tank's skin. This is not the right fight for Gervonta Davis at this moment.
This might be the worst thing that ever happened in the history of humanity. Jake Paul is set to fight Gervonta Tank Davis in November. This is ridiculous. First of all, Tank, I know you're known for not taking the hardest fights, but you at least fight actual boxers. What are you doing? You know, besides getting that bag. Second, Jake, why are you doing this? You're a bad person. Let's ignore the fact that I have personally watched this man rob a P.F. Chang's. Let's talk about his refusal to fight real boxers. He gets criticized for refusing to fight real boxers, so he fights Mike Tyson, a 60-year-old boxer. He gets criticized for fighting a 60-year-old boxer, so he fights a current championship boxer who is literally 100 pounds lighter than him. Tank Davis is a lightweight, 135 pounds. Jake Paul is a cruiserweight, 235 pounds. You're never beating this fraud allegation, Jake, so why are you doing this? What do you guys think of this fight? And don't tell me anything good. Say it in the comments, though.
If Tank steps into the Jake Paul fight trying to prove a point instead of focusing on his technique, that's when he becomes vulnerable to a lucky shot. And let's be honest, if Jake lands clean,
Tank's super skilled. Even though he's smaller than Jake.
It's like you with Mayweather. When you beat Mayweather, you were way bigger than Mayweather. That's why you won.
First person to beat him in history, and he still didn't pay me. Allegedly, in my opinion. Fuck off.
It's crazy how quickly everything has turned. This was supposed to be Tank's big comeback, his redemption story after the Roach fight, his return to dominance, his version of the Mayweather playbook. Instead, it's unraveling fast. What happened in Vegas proved this isn't an act anymore. Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis truly can't stand each other, and that genuine hatred is now driving a feud that could destroy everything in its path, including Tank's legacy.
Gervonta Davis is one of, if not the best, biggest names at 135 pounds, and is an active in his prime fighter. I don't want to hear the similar to Floyd and Logan thing, because at that point, Floyd was retired. Floyd had done all he needed to do in the sport. Tank is still in his prime, still has multiple high-level opponents that he needs to fight. And you can say, oh, you know, the Jake would be a one-off. Side quest. That's fine, but that just tells me that Tank doesn't care about being a high-level champion in the sport anymore. It tells me that he's done competitively in the sport. If he takes a fight with Jake Paul, it tells me he's done. And that's unfortunate. Yeah, Tank has been talking about retirement. If he goes this route, it's almost certain. Like, it's pack it up.
That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.